Recording. Welcome back. Second episode, Ring the Bell podcast, back by very popular demand.
Oh yeah, we got some good feedback on the first one.
Great feedback from our multiple listeners that were not us.
At least a few of you guys actually reached out with feedback, so we appreciate it.
Appreciate it. We're a little pleasantly surprised. Okay. A lot to get through. We haven't been on in 10 days, so just a little recap of the last 10 days. Bad series in Colorado. Lost 2 out of 3. One of them, we gave up 5 solo home runs and lost 5-4, which was a great start by Vince Velasquez, and then we just blew it down the stretch. Tapia walked it off. One of them we lost 12-2. There were some key moments we made mistakes.
Got blown open with Trevor Story. That was the end of it.
The play that sticks out to me in that game, that same inning, it's 2-1 with 2 outs and 2 strikes on their pitcher, Jonas Gray. He gets a 2-strike, 2-out hit to flip the order, and then they score 6 more runs. Would we have won the game? Probably not.
It was all Bryce. That Bryce Harper had the only 2 solo.
He had the 2 home runs, and
that was the only offense. We had nothing that game.
And the first 4 innings was like Bryce Harper had the best game of anyone in baseball all season, and then it went to, The Cardinal series was very interesting. 4-game series. We won the first game, just solid win. Lost the second game, I believe. And then the third game was the game they threw at Bryce's face, which I was listening to it on the radio after a basketball practice. First pitch I heard was just, I was ready to fight somebody. I don't know about you, Caleb. When I heard that they pegged Bryce, I was looking for some action. But
I saw what you said to me, and I mean, there weren't expletives, but I will not repeat it for to keep it
right. Yeah, I pulled over to the side of the road to text and call Caleb and then the next pitch after those 5 minutes, they threw at Didi, and he was down. I think
he got hurt for a game too. He
was out for a game,
but he got hurt. He was out the next game.
Bryce is still hurt. We'll get to his injury later, but it stems back to that play.
Yeah.
But we won that game in St. Louis, as you'd expect. After your 2 players go down, your team gets fired up.
Yeah.
And one of the most disappointing losses of the season was the 4th game of that series. Like, you'd think the fire would carry over even with a worse lineup, and it kind of didn't. It was very disappointing. Joe Girardi made a questionable decision. We were up 1-0 in the 5th. They had a runner on second with 2 outs. Their 8th hitter was up. A 2-way player recently got up to the majors, batting 177. We intentionally walked him to get to the pitcher spot, where they pinch hit a lefty against a righty, Aaron Nola. Sosa was a righty. Probably a better matchup. He hits a 3-run home run, and we lose the game in extras. So that was one of many Joe Girardi decisions from this past week. But that was the Cardinal series. Caleb, you might want to move your computer lower. You're kind of in the dark.
Yeah. No,
there you go.
Lighting.
Cool. Lit.
But Mets series, it was an interesting one. We won a close one for last Friday. I don't exactly remember it.
That was the only runs were on the pass ball.
Oh,
Chase Anderson game-winning strikeout in the second inning.
That was a good one. It was a weird one because Chase Anderson struck out on a ball that was way too low, and it got by the catcher and didn't release. Was it?
I think it hit the umpire's foot, and that's why it went so far away.
Yeah, the catcher was not exactly sure of it took him a second to realize. By the time he did realize what was happening, there was already a runner across the plate and another one coming home. So we got our 2 runs there and didn't look back. It was a
1-2-1. That's
good bullpen game. I remember it being very boring, actually, for the most part, but it was a good bullpen game.
That, when I saw that, it was I feel like that's the type of game the Phillies lose on a 2-run pass ball, and then we play great the rest of the game and lose.
Yes.
So I was happy we got it. Chase Anderson over Stroman. Any way you can get it, you take it.
And Stroman had a good game for the most part, too. So.
Yeah, I mean, his only runs were on a pass ball. It should have been a perfect outing.
Yeah.
We lost 5-4 the next day. wasn't really anything special about this game. Wheeler gave up 4 runs in the first inning. We tied it up 4-4. They hit a home run in the ninth, 5-4 win for them.
And then yesterday was maybe my most disappointing loss of the season because we were up 4-2, and it was on ESPN Sunday Baseball, the primetime game, and it was looking like when we went up 4-2 with the Didi big home run, like we were gonna secure that lead and come out with the win, whether it was 4-2 or maybe 4-3, or if we tacked on more runs. But as it turned out, that was not what the Phillies had in mind with Kinsler and then Jose Alvarado having his worst outing of the year and maybe one of the worst ones of his career, and then David Hale to finish it off. The Phillies gave up 6 runs in one inning.
David Hale is in the past week. The walk off the Cardinals had against us in that Matt Carpenter game I mentioned earlier was a walk off on a David Hale wild pitch. He comes into this game last night, bases loaded. First pitch is a bases clearing double, and it's slipping my mind right now. But there was another high leverage situation he came in this week, and
I don't know why Girardi still uses him, because he is bad. He's just bad at base. He's not good. He gets hit every single time. Like every batter knows him.
Yeah, he's really bad. And so we go down 8-4. Awful 6-run inning in the 8th. That's the second one we've had since our last freaking podcast. Gave up 6 runs in the 8th to the Giants last week, what a joke. And right now, I don't want to say anything. There's a game going right now. We're up 4-1 on the Brewers. They have bases loaded with no outs in the 8th. So we could be looking for another 6-run 8th, and I will lose my mind if we blow this lead right now. Connor Brogdon on the mound. It's bad. We're blowing leads.
I mean, Connor Brogdon was a minor league guy, but he started off very well.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God.
That
ball's hit. All right, Roman's under it. All right, so they got one out, sack fly.
You take it. Up 14.
Runner on third now. Yeah, I'll take it. If we can escape the inning, up, and then just put in our ever reliable closer, Hector Neris, who I call he gets a lot of hate from Phillies fans, and he did give up the home run to Conforto a couple days ago. Before that home run, he had a 1.45 ERA. So,
but see, I feel like his run limitation has been good this season, but I feel like that's a misleading stat, because if you've watched, he's hit hard a lot.
Yeah, and the Tapia home run for the walk-off in Colorado, it was an 0-2 pitch. He had thrown 3 straight splitters. All had been fouled off. And, I know he's not calling the pitches. I mean, he can shake it off. But he threw another splitter in the zone, 0-2, and it just got sent. And it was – anyway, he's coming in right now in the 8th. They took Brogdon out.
5-out save.
Corners. 5-out save is a lot to ask for him.
Doubt it. But either way.
All right. I think we didn't finish the Mets game as we got off track.
We didn't.
We were down 8-4. And then Didi walked to start the 9th. We got another base runner. Then Roman tripled or something like this.
No, we scored 1 run on the Roman triple.
We scored 1 run on the Roman triple, got another walk. I think it might have been a Matt Joyce walk, I believe. And then Hoskins hit a 3-run home run to tie the game at first look, and then it got called back as they said it hit the railing. We didn't deserve to win that game. It was the right call, but that went from the best moment of my year to just the most heartbreaking moment. Felt like we lost the game 3 times.
It felt like all of Sunday Night Baseball was going to be this epic thing. We're going to go to extras, maybe even win the game there. But it just got spoiled. And honestly, it felt like, because most stadiums have the line there where if you hit the top, it counts. And I thought Phillies might have something where if it gets even just above the padding part of the wall, it might count. But it just felt like demoralizing because it felt like after all that we had done something, even if we didn't deserve to. Something had happened good for us, and then it was just taken away. Just
Yeah,
like
that home like Conforto hit a home run in the ninth against us the day before. The Phillies don't hit clutch homers in the ninth ever, and it felt like we would finally get that big hit, and it was, I mean, props to Rhys Hoskins. It was a 2-run double and kept the game alive, and we went
it
down
was a
one.
very good hit. Like you can't complain
Yeah,
about Reese.
I'm not mad at Rhys, and I'm not mad at the railing. I'm mad that we gave up 6 runs in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
Terrible boneheaded fielding plays. Like Hoskins could have ended the inning if he caught that line out. Instead, he drops it and then falls asleep, and VR scores from first. It was a bad game. All right.
By the
Moving.
way,
All
talk
right.
about very very briefly. Sam Coonrod, sorry, pitched earlier in this game in relief of Vince Velasquez in this game right now,
Yeah.
and he went a clean inning with 3 strikeouts. He has a 1.38 ERA.
He has a 1 point. I don't know how. I didn't know that set. I don't know how that's possible. I feel like maybe he did it with runners. He came into a spot with runners on earlier this week, but he gave up, I remember, a big hit in, I forget which game it was this week. It might have been the 5-2 loss to the Cardinals. I don't mind him, though. Like, he's fine.
I think he obviously this is unsustainable. He's not one of the best relievers in the league, but when he's pitched now, I believe 13 innings on the season, and he has let's see, he's got uh 13 innings and 16 strikeouts.
It's nice to see after last year, no matter what the results are, someone in our pen who can just throw it by somebody else. Like, he can throw 100, 101, which we haven't had.
High 90s, hundreds.
Yeah,
And
it's like
it's with Alvarado, although Alvarado had similar production. He just melted down yesterday. But
a meltdown.
uh,
I don't want to talk about yesterday anymore. It makes me too sad. I was so sad after yesterday.
yeah, I'm not really sure if Sam Coonrod's the type to melt down. I know it's like he's never played much in the majors before, so he's not going to be the second coming of Mariano Rivera or anything. Um, so I'm not really sure, but I don't know. He's had a good start to the year, but so did Connor Brogdon, so we'll see.
Last thing before we move on are 2 things. One, Archie Bradley coming back. He should soon. That will be huge. If I have a lot of confidence in Archie Bradley. Second thing, note on the Brewers game, RBI ground out. We're up 4-3, 2 outs in the 8th, man on first. I'm happy that with the bases loaded, no outs, that if we can get an out next batter, 2 runs when we were up 3, fine. We could have maybe had a double play there. Didi kind of sold, but whatever. All right.
We need the final out and
yeah, just one more out, get to the 9th, close it out with Hector. Okay. Last week we talked at length about the Philly center field issues. The Phillies are still having center field issues. They put a graphic up last night on Sunday Night Baseball that we're batting 091 for our center fielders, but
360 OPS. It's horrible.
Awful. Roman Quinn had a RBI triple last night. Oh my God, Hector just picked him off at first. So I guess we didn't have to get through the next batter. Great, we're going to the 9th. Okay.
What lineup are we?
I don't know where we're at. I think we're at second. McCutcheon, who came in for Miller's up. McCutcheon, Realmuto, Gregorius, Bohm. Hopefully,
I'm more interested in they'll have Daniel Vogelback, then Urias and Mail. I don't even know who they are.
Yeah,
So they're
the bottom. Yeah, I mean, we need to get those 3 outs. Roman Quinn last night, RBI triple in the 9th. Roman Quinn today in the 2nd inning, RBI triple in the 2nd. He's looked like the worst athlete in the history of professional team sports over the past, this whole season. But if there's a chance that he can be serviceable at the plate, he's definitely the best fielder on the team. And his speed is such an asset. The triples he had are doubles to anyone else. And today the triple, after the triple, the infield came in and they hit a hard grounder to first, and he still couldn't get Roman, who's going on contact. He's the fastest player in the league. It's getting to the point since Moniak was so bad, and Kingery is atrocious. And Herrera, I'm okay with him on the team, maybe pinch hitting. He's been better the past couple games. He started today in right, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a better option than Roman just because at least he's good defensively. What do you think?
I mean, yeah. See, that's the thing. I feel like Moniak just doesn't have it. He's just not a good enough baseball player. And Scott Kingery's not a true center fielder. You can kind of stick him anywhere, but he also just kind of forgot how to play baseball and hit the ball.
He
So he's not really an option.
he died when his minor league coaches taught him about launch angle. He swings for a home run every time, and he's not strong enough, and it goes nowhere. Strikeouts.
Yeah. So it's just really bad. He needs to, if he could go back to 2 years ago when it was a good prospect and just reset, that'd be great. He would be a solid player on the team. But so here we are. And Adam Hazley, I kind of don't even know what's happening. So who knows?
Right. I
But
forgot about Hazley. He's on his leave is unpaid, so I don't know what that means, but I know it's abnormal. So whatever is going on with him is definitely strange. I don't expect him back at all.
yeah, no. So kind of count him out of the equation for now, at least for talking sake. But in terms, I agree with you. I think Roman is probably our best option. Herrera just seems too far removed from playing decent baseball to really contribute. Like he's had a few hits in the last couple days, but one of them was a bunt, and he doesn't really seem like he's there yet. And he's fine defensively, but he's nothing special. Roman, I mean, he's getting hit at about the same rate as Herrera, but he's way faster and he can field kind of. I mean, he's a good fielder.
He's good in center. Oh, and the Matt Carpenter home run from before, Roman probably could have robbed it. It fell out of his glove over the
Yeah,
fence. I don't know if you
he
saw
had
that
it.
replay.
Yeah, he had it in his glove.
That's just being the Phillies, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But
You have more to say on Roman?
no, I mean, just he's probably the best option. He's not good enough to be a starting center fielder. Like the Phillies have to know that we have to do something about it. But for now, yeah, he's our best bet.
All right. Another thing I want to talk about, which is becoming a major issue with this team, is injuries. It's so tonight we had to line up without Reese Hoskins. That was just rest. Without Gene Segura. I don't know when he's coming back. The 10-day IL, I think this would be his last day, or he should be back from it, but he's just not healthy yet. And Bryce Harper, who is basically our entire team, has a wrist injury that it actually happened. I didn't know this. It's the wrist injury started on when he got hit in the face. The ball ricocheted onto his wrist. And then he re-injured it last time when he fell rounding third onto his wrists. So Girardi said it's touch and go, but he could be headed to the 10-day IL. And I mean, like, it's not season ending, but 10 games without Harper would definitely hurt our team.
It's 10 games where we lose 6 at least. Because Harper is, like you said, it's hard to have one player carry a baseball team, and the Angels know that because they've had Mike Trout the last 10 years. But Bryce Harper has been by far, I mean, Bryce and JT's been playing great, but Bryce has been the not only the leader but the best player in our team as he's been advertised to be, and he's been batting well. He's been getting on base all the time. He's having one of the better seasons of his career, honestly.
Yeah, they said statistically, I heard this on the radio the other day. This is his second best April of his career, second to I believe his MVP season in 2015.
Yeah, so he's definitely having his best season on the Phillies, and I feel he's been no means bad the past 2 years as a Philly. And I feel like he's almost underrated at this point, but he's been absolutely playing well, and he is vital to this team because without seeing Bryce Harper in the lineup, you look at the Philly lineup and you don't really see much.
We are
And he when
yeah. I just was gonna say we're definitely a top-heavy team. Like our lineup, our center fielders are free out. Any backup fielders other than Brad Miller are basically free outs, and the pitchers are free out. So when you take
Plus,
Harper
it's
out of it and you take Hoskins out of it, and McCutchen was out of the lineup today, it just looks bad.
you don't like, and there's something to be said for names not meaning anything, but you don't see names when you don't see Harper. You don't really see names.
Yeah,
Harper really brings together. He really provides the spark to the offense because you know every time he steps to the plate, he can get a hit and he can make a difference, and you just don't see that with any other player.
he's batting this season over 500 with runners on base. That is ridiculous. And he's batting in the 300s, which basically means when there's no one on, a lot of times there's two outs because he's a three hitter. He swings for the fences, which I'm fine with because then you get the home runs he had in Atlanta and the two in Colorado. And then when there's guys on, he shortens up and he gets hits. I love his approach this year. He's been great, and we're gonna need him back soon, along with Segura. Segura was batting 439 over his last 8 games before he went
Segura
to the IL.
is very, I feel, underrated player in a way because not many Phillies fans talk about him being an important piece to the team, but we don't really have. I feel like the Phillies aren't complete when Segura is not there either, because we just kind of stick in a guy and he's okay, and sometimes Brad Miller does well, but if Segura kind of rounds the team out. I feel like it makes them a solid team.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Maton has by far exceeded expectations for
Oh yeah,
what he was supposed to be. He's batting like 280 something, which great, but it's not Gene Segura. Gene Segura was batting 333 before the injury. Hope we get him back soon. We
Nick
like
Maton, by the way, is batting 327, and he is
wow,
over 8.
327. Well, I was wrong. But I mean, Segura is like, no matter what the numbers say, like we can both agree, Segura is a much better player than Nick Maton.
Yes.
Also, it's like when the lineup, I kind of want Segura to lead off instead of Kutch. I said that last episode, but just when the lineup is McCutchen, Hoskins, Harper, Realmuto, Bohm, Gregorius, Segura, center fielder, pitcher, it looks so good. And when it's not,
Yeah.
it doesn't at all.
You can when you have those 7 guys, you feel like you can get a hit with any one of them at any time. You don't have to worry because you know, even let's say Bryce and JT are having an off day, you know Didi and Segura can get a hit. And you know Kutch is good for a hit every once in a while at least, and Hoskins can slap a home run if you need him to.
Yeah,
So it makes the lineup feel dynamic and dangerous.
yeah. And the last injury, touched on it before, Archie Bradley is rehabbing. Need him back. Just Alvarado's not. Alvarado's good. I want it 6 innings out of a starter. Bradley, Alvarado, Neris, or those three guys some way. I think that's how we're going to win ball games. Speaking of 6 innings out of a starter, Vince Velasquez today gave up a 446 home run to Lorenzo Cain in the first inning, and then no runs for 6 innings. And he should get the win today. He's pitched well so far this year. Any thoughts on him?
Uh, I'm not a huge Vince Velasquez guy because he has good stuff and he can throw relatively hard and he can do good things and he's shown that he can do good things, but I feel like he's never really been able to put it all together, at least for an extended period of time. Um, but I think while we're dealing with injuries and whatever, he's a solid start. Like he can be our 5 guy. Like I'm not I guess mad at it. Like I don't have like anything too against him.
I'm with you. I would not want him to be a fourth or fifth starter, but I'd rather him be in the starting rotation than say Matt Moore.
I agree.
So,
I agree with that. I think Vince Velasquez has shown that he can be better than Matt Moore, who has like a 9 ERA and like a 2.5 WHIP or something like that.
yeah, we're I don't know if you know this, but we're stretching out Spencer Howard right now at the alternate site, then he's our number one prospect. It's like he's been up and down the past couple of years, but kind of out of necessity, we didn't want to do this till next season. Hopefully by next month, he'll be in our starting rotation.
Really?
Yeah, that is the plan. It's a bit of an aggressive plan. He was on an innings limit, but they're saying better to get his innings, the first 4 or 5 innings of a game than like the sixth inning in a random game. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I agree with that. I agree with what you said about Vince Velasquez. I don't like. I also think he can't come out of the bullpen. Vince Velasquez, I don't trust out of the bullpen, and we saw that when like 1 or 2 times he did come out, he just wasn't good enough. I feel like he's more reliable and maybe confident as a starter. But Spencer Howard, I was hopeful of him last year when he came up. I'm not as sold on him anymore because he's not exactly a young rookie. He's like 23, maybe. Is that right? Not
I'm not
exactly
sure.
sure, but I think if he can contribute, that's great. But I I don't really expect much from him. Um, so if he can be a five starter or fifth starter and get like a 4 ERA, that's good.
Yeah, I mean,
But I
I
don't
agree with
know.
you. Chase Anderson has been serviceable. Chase Anderson has been great. We won the game against the Mets. They scored 1 run. Like he has been exactly what I would hope for out of Chase Anderson.
Yeah,
We
no,
need we need the other guy right now. He'll go through a bad stretch, but he's a veteran. I I'm fine with Anderson staying. Howard's an upgrade over Vince. That's where I'm at right now.
yeah,
Okay, so it's been almost a half hour. We just like talk. Feels like goes by
oh
so
yeah,
fast. But I
oh
do
yeah.
want to look ahead at least this series before we go on our road trip. We're 2 games under 500 right now. Hopefully, by the time the podcast is out, we're 1 game under 500. If we can close this game out, Didi just doubled, so runner in scoring position in the eighth. Uh, I thought getting 3 or 4 from the Brewers was just impossible. But
Yeah.
if we get this first one, maybe we could get 2 of 3. We
Yeah.
had Velasquez tonight. You think there's a chance we
Um,
get 500?
I think, like you said, it's unlikely because I don't see the Phillies winning 3 or 4 at this point. It's sad to say, it just doesn't seem right. It just doesn't seem like something the Phillies do. But at the same time, if we take the first one, that's the important one. We have Vince Velasquez that can implode at any time. And if you can get the win here, which I think we should, it ultimately, I don't expect us to score again in this game. I think there's a good chance we just have to rely on the closer. But I think we'll win this one. I don't know why, but I'm confident about it.
We
But
had 87% chance last night, according to ESPN's probability thing, going into the eighth inning. I don't have a stat in front of me. We were up 2 runs against Colorado in the seventh. We were up multiple runs against San Francisco. We gave them a 6 run eighth. We were up multiple runs against. It just feels like I'm talking about the Mets last night. We're up every game, multiple runs late, and we just lose. We need this game. We need games right now. Like we can't afford to just keep losing and losing. I but I'm not confident like you, unfortunately. I think I'm just tired of this team right now.
yeah, no, I think we're gonna win this one. I do. I feel like we survived the part where we would blow it. We had the four, and we're going to the bottom of their lineup now. I feel like we survived, but either way, looking past that, I don't know the pitching matchups for the rest of the series. I'd imagine we have Nola at some point. Did he?
I believe we do have Anderson, Nola, and Wheeler over the next 3 games of this series.
Yeah, because
And
Eflin.
Wheeler's against Woodruff. The Brewers' only like star pitcher right now with Burns out. So that's like the marquee matchup. That's the 4th game of the series.
Brandon Woodruff could be good. It's nice we're not facing Corbin Burns. I'm not sure how legit he is, but he had an amazing start to the season, and there's no debating that.
Oh yeah.
Um, I mean, but he had like 49 strikeouts, no walks. That's insane.
Yeah.
But either way, um, I'm hopeful we can take 2 or 3 there. If we can steal one against Brandon Woodruff, that'd be great. And all we have to do is win one more.
Stunned. We don't steal ones. We get them stolen from us every game. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. All right. I hate to cut you off, but I actually want to watch the end of this game on like intensely as we have 3 more outs to go. Neris going for a 5-out save. Good talk. Hopefully we get to 500. Or could you imagine sweeping 4 from? You know what? Not even gonna say that. We're not. We're not a clutch baseball team. Last thing though, we were 5-1. Isn't it crazy how it all changes? Do you remember how happy we were when we were 4-0, and then we swept the Braves to start, won 2 out of 3 against the Mets, and now we're terrible. I just think it's crazy.
It seemed like this franchise really was going somewhere at the start of the year, and then it all went downhill. It's because our starting pitching was so good for those first 6 games. It really was, and then we fell back down.
We haven't won 2 straight games in I think 24 days. Okay, this is actually it. It's getting back from commercial. Ben King, Caleb Ash, ring the bell. If you stayed this long, text me because you definitely have my number, and I don't know. I'll appreciate it.
If you stayed this long, I will give you a free soda. So there's your incentive.
I mean, come on.
There's your incentive.
That's the best deal yet. All right. See ya. Peace.
Yep.